Ho, ho, ho.
Breadheads, breadheads, breadheads. Welcome
Wow.
back. Another episode
Mm-hmm.
of Think Fresh podcast. It's Christmas time. Christmas has come and gone, Ty. It's now the end of Boxing Week. Did you pick up any deals?
Boxing week deals. Oh, man, dude. I haven't shopped in years.
Same.
Every year I get some underwear and some socks, and that holds me over another 365 days.
hmm Yeah, you can't let the in-laws see all the holes in your in your socks and your underwear because they'll be concerned for you. But
It's
fear
just
not,
Margiela.
because exactly. It's distressed on purpose, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these are my de-stressed tidy whities. They came pre-streaked. It's Balenciaga's new thing.
Pre-streaked. Yeah, I got my, underwear with streaks on them. I got my shoes with cum on them. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's the whole look. You wouldn't get it.
Mm-hmm. You just look wet and gross. it's, it's a different. It's different for sure. The boomers don't understand, but you and we understand.
That's right. We're on the cusp of fashion innovation. I'm starting to
Mm-hmm.
think, Ty, that we might need a Think Fresh T-shirt that has like sauce stains kind of like pre-built into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm thinking some sweet onion, some Southwest, kind of just like dribbled on the chest area. Maybe a nice
Mm-hmm.
little touch. Maybe some crumbs as well.
I love that.
Fuck
It's
it, throw an olive in there.
dude, the bib tee, we'll call it.
Mm-hmm. That's right. It's kind of like I don't know, like we're a couple of 3-year-olds, playing with our food.
I'm team play with my food. At this point, who cares? Who gives a crap? It's the world is ending. It's like nothing matters. We can play with our food, Eric.
hmm Who gives a rat's ass?
Mm-hmm. Did you have a good week, Eric? Did you deck the meatballs? Did you spend time with family? Did you get any good gifts? What happened to you this week?
Oh man, what did happen to me? I don't remember, Ty, because my holidays are at this point in my life, as you get older, it's all about just drinking as much as humanly possible with your family and your in-laws.
Mm-hmm.
And actually trying as hard to forget that, Santa's not real. We
Yeah,
were
I
all
get
told
that.
this at some point. We found out on our own. And ever since then, Ty, I don't know, everything has just kind of been doom and gloom, in my opinion.
I don't know, man. After like the seventh Guinness of the day, Santa's coming back. You start to believe again. You start to see You start to see Mr. Claus.
hmm The Irish bartender behind the bar starting to look more and more like an elf. You're just,
Sounds like
let
one
me get
too.
another.
uh,
Oh,
yeah,
fuck.
it's true. You're just like hanging out on the couch with the in-laws all day, drinking till you feel like an outlaw, and that's what I've been doing
hmm
too. And Eric, I got to tell you, I am cheesed. Like
Oh, your cheese.
I'm so full of cheese that I'm gonna burst.
Damn, you gotta take a lactate or something. What's going on? Why are you eating so much cheese over there?
It's just the cheese be a plenty. The charcuterie is bountiful this time of year, and you know me. I like to peck around.
Peck on some pecorino or something.
Exactly. But when you have nothing else to do all day but pecorino on the formaggio, by the end of the day, you're feeling like just a big tub of lard,
hmm I mean, yeah, you're totally right. For some reason, I've created this culture at my family's place where there's two beer options, Guinness or Fat Tug. And every time I go there, it's start with the Guinness, ease into the wine selection of the evening. And it's always like, it's down to a science at this point. One beer, like between 4 and 7 glasses of wine,
Mm-hmm.
and then usually end with some kind of hard liquor. Usually a scotch or a cognac of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
And if
No
if I ever
diddy.
make it to the cognac, it's like I'm staying there till past midnight for dinner. That's the vibe.
Right, right. That's kind of like the final boss before you just you're on Christmas Eve demon time.
Once we finish like several bottles of wine, my dad and I look at each other. We're like, so we dip it into the cognac. Like it's like a silent kind of acknowledgement. We're like, yep, yes,
Mm,
we are.
wow, it's good to have traditions. Mine's similar. It's always
Yeah.
starts with a single pint of delicious beer and then a single martini, and then we just ride out wine the rest of the
Hmm.
night until the bottles are empty.
hmm Yeah, wine is like all reliable. It's like
Hmm.
once you get all like you get the jitters out with all of the like fun drinks at the beginning. Like you're like so excited to like let me make this cocktail for you, or let's crack a beer just to like just to like delete the day we just had. It's
100%.
wine that kind of carries you through.
Yeah, it is all reliable Merlot. And there's always so
hmm
much around. Like I will drain my fridge of beer the minute I restock, but the wine, it hangs out in the cellar until a special day
hmm
like Christmas Day.
hmm And wine's one of those things where it's like you receive around 3 or 4 bottles like
Hmm.
every holiday season, and you're also giving away every holiday season 3 or 4 bottles. So it's kind
Hmm.
of like a wine giveth and it taketh kind of situation.
That's true. It's flowing in and out of the economy.
Exactly. I'm convinced that like maybe outside of our houses, wine actually is never consumed. It's just passed on.
Hmm. It's the gift that is regifted time and time again until it finds a thirsty man.
hmm Speaking of regifting, Ty, are you past the kind of like horrors of Secret Santas? Like, are you all done with gift giving, gift receiving? You've weathered the storm, or is there more on the horizon?
Dude, I feel like an F-22 in a dogfight the way I'm trying to like dodge all of these Christmas traditions, you know? I still have one more
hmm
Secret Santa to get through, but I did successfully dodge a New Year's potluck. So I'm
Oh.
we're doing our best to kind of skirt our way through this holiday season and avoid some of the more treacherous events.
hmm I'm happy for you, Ty. I unfortunately was not as lucky. I am going to a potluck Secret Santa.
Ooh, wow. The horrors.
Not only do I have to bring a gift for $25, but I also have to bring a main and a dessert.
Wow, that sounds
Pray for me.
awful. Dude, I feel so bad for you. I do actually technically have a potluck because, well, it's not the kind that you think. It's actually a really good format for a potluck, Eric. And I think I talked about this last New Year's, but every New Year's I have a tradition that I come together with
hmm
friends and we all make a cocktail and bring the cocktail to the party,
Oh yeah.
and it symbolizes an event or a pop culture moment or something significant from 2024. So I have to do that again this year, and I'm very excited because 2024 was a wild ride.
It was. Um, so much happened in 2024 that I'm not even sure like what kind of thing that you're even gonna try to create into a cocktail. And I'm starting to think like you're gonna have to go with something less obvious because there's so many like headline news stories that you could go with. Trumpito. You could talk
Mm-hmm.
about, I don't know, probably like Israel Palestine.
Mm-hmm.
You could probably talk about Luigi, the CEO shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Any ideas?
Yeah,
Should we brainstorm something for you now, or do you want to keep it a surprise in case any of your guests are listening?
I think we got to get the like big ideas out of the way right now, just so that I can get to
hmm
something niche by the time New Year's comes around. So like, probably not going to do Eras Tour, too obvious. The Drake and Kendrick Lamar feud is a little more interesting. I don't even know what kind of cocktail you could come up with for that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You'd have to mix Toronto and LA in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is a famous like Toronto beverage? Who cares? Is what I
I
would have
think it's just
said in
like
my answer.
cocaine, maybe.
Yeah, actually, probably. I mean, that's kind of interesting because you could pretend it's like snow
Hmm.
and like just, dump some cocaine onto your drink as like a little garnish.
Maybe some Coca Cola as a tribute to that.
hmm Nice. Now we're thinking.
Now we're thinking. And I feel like the LA meal of choice is also cocaine and maybe some Ozempic.
Exactly. I'm thinking about the Trump ear shooting.
Iconic.
And I'm like, you could make almost any drink out of that. Like, if you really want to get funny with it, you could do like an orange crush kind of cocktail and then have like maybe a prosthetic ear as a garnish instead of like a lemon wedge.
That's really funny, Eric. I love that. That was a kind of a deep cut event. I think that's pretty good. Big moment.
I don't know if I'd
but
call I don't know if I'd call the president elect being shot in the head like a deep cut.
You're right. It was not a deep cut. It was a light grazing. Excuse me.
That's right. That's right. That's right, Ty. Don't try to erase history, okay?
I just forgot it happened. I'm far too preoccupied with as soon as dude that happened, and then we got Brat Summer, and I just forgot everything.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Alex Cooper got married this year. That's shout out to our fellow podcasters. I don't know.
Damn. So it really is possible.
It is possible for a podcaster to find love.
Believe it or not. Yeah, usually like people start podcasting after they've entered a serious relationship.
It's
like
like far safer that way.
It's much safer. They need, a reason to disappear for an hour or two a week. A reason to hang out with the boys. That's not just like I want to play, Call of Duty.
100%. Like if you're a married man, you either can start a podcast, start golfing, or find a mistress. But all of them give you an opportunity to spend like 2 or 3 hours out of the house. It's all escapism.
Yeah, some are like, I don't know. I would rank them differently depending on like general perception by the woman in your life.
Yeah, fair enough. Depending on your audience.
But Ty, speaking of Christmas dinners, I want to like throw this idea at you. I got to experience this last year at Thanksgiving, but I think eating a meal outside on Christmas or on even New Year's Eve, any of the big major blue chip holidays, I think should be celebrated. And I would actually love to see like a cultural shift towards dining out on these big days and less, cooking for your family. What do you think about this concept?
Yes, 100% agree. I think the family meal is so overplayed. Like, give the restaurants a chance to show off what they can do with a 5-course meal, People seldom even do the multi-course. Everyone's a la carte these days. And I'd say, like, who does multi-course meals better than, like, a fine dining establishment? So why wouldn't you want to treat yourself on a major holiday?
I 100% agree. It only, I mean, I can see the point against it at like, say you have like 5 kids and you're like, I don't want to like, get the miso cod for all of them. Like that's a little pricey. But if it's just like you and Bay and maybe like your parents, treat them to a nice little dinner, go to a pizza place, nice Italian restaurant. I don't know. I think it's the move. No dishes required. You can even like get freaky with the menu. Like normally you wouldn't get the turkey option, but if you are celebrating Christmas, why not get the turkey dinner that is offered on that day?
Yeah, because they will. And Eric, I did exactly this year. We went out with the in-laws for Christmas dinner. Few guests at the table, tapped into some turkey dinner. I treated myself as well, a little steelhead trout, and it was wonderful. And you know what? You know what's wonderful about it? You can cook at home, and you do cook at home every other day of the year. So what's special about Christmas dinner if you're just like using the same, I don't know, frying pan and the same shitty forks and knives that you eat your like regular miso ramen with instead of the miso, what'd you say, miso cod?
Yeah, I did say that. Yeah. Yeah, dude, I fully agree with you. Like it's the worst possible scenario when you like have a bunch of people over for dinner and you like go to set the table and you're like missing like 3 forks because they're in the dishwasher. Like, oh fuck. Now
Mm-hmm.
you're like doing dishes before and after you eat. And it's just not the vibe, honestly. I don't want this many people at my apartment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. It's it's funny that we've kind of stuck to this like tradition of home cooked meals, and I think it's because these types of holidays exist pre-restaurant. Like back when Christmas traditions were formed and like these pagan holidays and even like the colonial Thanksgiving, like they were all made in a time when restaurants were awful. Like restaurants were just as bad as cooking at home. But now it's like you can have any cuisine served to you by queer servers and chefs who
Mm-hmm.
have accolades.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 1000%, bro. Do you think restaurants were bad when they first were invented? Or they were just probably the same as like, having, your, I don't know, spouse cook you a nice little dish. It's like
Mm-hmm.
I would just have someone else's spouse cook me a dish. Like that's really the only difference.
Yeah, it's kind of like cheating on your spouse back then.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. But it was legal. It was like it was actually a nice thing to do with your spouse is to cheat.
100%. It's like, hey, babe, I'm gonna take you out for a cheat meal tonight.
Well said. Um, Speaking of cheat meals, Ty, I learned today because I looked it up that Subway is like always closed on Christmas Day. Like
No.
the vast majority of them are closed on Christmas Day, closed on Thanksgiving Day, closed on New Year's Eve. Like all of the major like North American holidays, they're kind of just packing it in and not doing much. But I noticed in Australia there was a franchise that was open on New Year's Eve, but there was a sign outside that said they're charging a 15% holiday surcharge.
Oof. Wow. Dude, this is a lot of crazy information. I can't believe they shut it down nationwide. That's
Yeah, dude. So it's kind of like unfortunate because you would think like the guy who would go to Subway on Christmas Day is
mm-hmm.
like doesn't really have anywhere better to go. And I just feel like, we should celebrate one just going out on in general on Christmas Day because there's lots of money to be made in the, hospitality industry,
Mm-hmm.
but also like for the guy with like nowhere to go, like come on, man. I
I
got to give him
know.
somewhere to go.
Dude, they took away his third space. What is he gonna do? Like
Mhm.
linger by the mall Santa or go back to the pub? He was there yesterday.
Mhm. 100%. I mean, for some people it might be their first or second space as well. Like they might not have a home and they might not have a job. So like or they work from home, in which case they still don't have a job. So they're like going to Subway to like mingle with, I don't know, people with sandals in the freezing cold rain.
Yeah, that's a good point. I feel like the three core spaces of your average Subway enjoyer is Subway, maybe a public library, and whatever bridge they're sleeping under that night.
Hmm. They love bridges. They love libraries. They love like sitting outside the liquor store, like
Hmm.
just kind of loitering outside the liquor store for some reason. They're not asking anything of anyone, but they're just kind of there.
Dude, I have no problem with that. Like, I love a drink al fresco on the patio. Why can't they enjoy it too?
I'm with you on that. It's when they whip out the guitar. That's the problem, Ty. And
Hmm.
I know we're both picturing the same exact liquor store right now.
Commercial Drive, right?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, dude, what
exactly.
is up with Commercial Drive's liquor store? They need a there's a party out there every night.
Hmm. It's either that one or like Denman usually has like some people kind of just hanging around for some reason. Both
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
both places I've been to many times.
Yep. I think about sometimes partaking in their culture, but I just can't stand the music.
Hmm. I mean, if we had like some proper like pubs here, you could just drink outside anyway. Like grab a pint from inside, go stand on the sidewalk and have it. like just like you
Hmm.
can like in every other country in the world.
Yeah, 100%. I wish we would be more cultured here, a little bit more evolved. Eric, do you think
Hmm.
the 15% surcharge that Australia and Subway is doing is justified given the probably presumable supply crunch during New Year's Eve?
Supply crunch in what sense? Like they're
There's
not
a
getting enough. There's a global lettuce shortage again.
I'm not talking about the lettuce. I'm not talking about the crispy onions. I'm talking about the demand for restaurants when so many mom and pop shops
Mm.
shutter down that time of year.
Hmm. I mean, in my like my assumption is that they are charging people more because they have to be open, and like most places are can close, but they're like, you know what, fuck it, we'll stay open. But that means we have to ask like 3 or 4 people to work on Christmas Day, and they're probably going to have to be paid time and a half or some
Mm,
kind of overtime holiday bonus. And I'm guessing the 15% covers that. Um, so it's probably going straight to the top, and not that 50% is not actually going into their pockets, but they will get a holiday bonus. That's what my guess.
dude, nothing like a few extra inches during this time of year.
I also love to get myself a holiday bonus of a few extra inches.
Hmm. Wow. I think it's justified as well. I'm assuming that was the stance you took.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
Because I realize that I am one of the privileged few who gets to eat out on New Year's. There's two classes, right? There's the people who are served on New Year's and the people who serve on New Year's. And if you're one of the lucky few to be served, you got to pay a price for that.
Dude, it feels so great to be at the top. Am I right?
Like you're ringing in the ball dropping, you're kissing your wifey, and there's someone like nearby mopping up from all the champagne spills.
Hmm. Actually, you know what? It's probably worth it to separate New Year's Eve from Christmas, because I think like New Year's Eve is like a popping time to like go for dinner. Like I think
Mm-hmm.
it's like really maybe one of the busiest nights of the year because it's really hard to secure a reservation on New Year's Eve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
you're right.
usually there's like
It's tough.
yeah, usually there's like some other added like benefit to going and dining at places on New Year's Eve. They'll like give you a free glass of champagne if you're gonna stay for the countdown, stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Right. You have to sometimes pay just to hold the table because you might get a rare firework view by the window or something, which is kind of blowing my mind that Subway is actually open on New Year's then. Not because they're like thinking there's so many people that want to go for dinner that someone might actually entertain this option. Like we're gonna get
Yeah.
spillover. Sorry, babe, your top
Hmm.
three restaurants were full. So, but I found a
Hmm.
place.
That's true. But can you imagine ringing in the new year in line at Subway? Like you're standing there ordering your herbs and cheese, turkey sub, and all of a sudden outside you just hear 10, 9, 8, and you're like, oh crap, I don't even have my sandwich yet. What am I going to do? And then you just lean over the sneeze guard and give your artist a big New Year's kiss.
A big sloppery wet one. Are you using tongue,
Hmm.
Eric? Are you saving the tongue for the sandwich?
Are you tonguing your sandwich artist at midnight on New Year's Eve if you found yourself at a Subway?
I mean, they're
That's a
probably
good
lonely
question, Ty.
too.
I know. I think this might be the one time of the year where like you could probably make out with a sandwich artist. Like think about it. Like when else could you possibly do this? Outside of subways, doesn't count. Like it has to be inside the subway.
I don't think there's ever another opportunity, maybe a lonely Valentine's Day. But I think if you're going to pull this move off, Eric, you need to start a few days early. Go in for Merry Rizmas and riz up your sandwich artist. Make sure they know
Hmm.
your face. Make sure they go home after their shift thinking about your charm. And then when you pull
Hmm.
back up on New Year's, you're Prince Charming, back to the ball.
Hmm.
You got the golden slipper,
Uh,
baby, slipping your tongue right in their mouth.
I love this idea, Ty. I think we should step it up a notch. I think the lead up is important, but also like the actual event will be really important too because you should probably go like a couple hours early.
Mm,
Bring like all of your friends. Bring the energy. You know what I mean? You need to pack up that subway. That way, like it's not just you and her.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta create like a little ambiance where it's like anything could happen. Like it's getting rowdy at the subway at late night, but everyone's still well behaved. They're tipping, everyone's in a good
Mm-hmm.
mood.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly you're talking to the artist, you're kind of raising them up, you're building some rapport.
Mm-hmm.
And you maybe make the joke. It's like, I don't know, I don't really have a kiss tonight, I don't know what's gonna happen, I might have to kiss my sandwich, blah blah blah. Make some light jokes.
Mm-hmm.
And then once the time comes, Ty, you sneak under the line, count down from behind the sandwich line,
Wow.
and then you just reach in.
Just going for it and pray to God neither of you had the tuna for lunch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I do think it's possible. You're right, Eric, but you got to build the rapport. You got to set up a will they, won't they type of storyline, tease a little
Mm-hmm.
bit.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Coming at it like a self-deprecating way is a good too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Lower their guard. Lower their sneeze guard.
Yeah, dude. The sneeze guard's only there so that your spit doesn't end up anywhere near the sandwiches or the sandwich artist for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to lower the sneeze guard if you're trying to swap spit.
Facts. Sometimes there's a rare moment where they want you to spit.
Mm-hmm.
Hop to a
spit on them.
Oh damn.
Oh
Dude,
shit.
I hope the breadheads aren't too aware that Eric and I are both just absolutely completely drooping from all the festive food this holiday season. I feel like I don't feel like myself, Eric. I feel like bloated. I feel fat. I feel jolly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. My jolly fat ass is running on empty though. Like my social battery is just flickering right now, nothing left. But we do what we can for the breadheads, we log in and punch in our time cards and then do our best work and then leave.
That's right. We're the socially drained gang, but we're trying our best out here.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Yeah. What are we have one more episode before New Year's, so stay tuned. It's gonna be a New Year's drop. Should we drop it at midnight?
Oh, dude, 100%. Let's do that. That's going to be very fun.
Okay,
Breadheads
sick.
will recount some of our favorite Think Fresh moments of 2024. We'll be looking forward to what is in store for handhelds in 2025. And we will hold your hand and ear as we enter the new year.
That's right. So stay on the lookout. New Year's Eve, midnight, Pacific Standard Time. Watch your inbox. We'll keep you covered for that dark, lonely Uber ride home from the New Year's party.
Yeah. You may not get a New Year's kiss, but you will get some New Year's bliss from Ty and Eric at Think Fresh Podcast.
Beautifully said. Bring your AirPods to the party because you're going to need them on the way home. And looking forward to it, Ty. Thanks for podcasting with me today.
Thank you. And thank you to the Breadheads for listening. Think Fresh, everybody. Ciao.